What's up, everybody? This is Gridiron Gunz. I'm Tyler Harris. I wanted to create a space where we could all come talk and pretty much learn where to go to get more knowledge about guns, of course. Football is another piece too. I used to play football, if it's not obvious, right? Anyway, and also just talk about life in general. So with that, each time we talk, I'm gonna have kind of a list of things I want to hit that we talk about. I'm just kind of gonna be going at it and cut this thing up to where it makes sense to you guys. Aside from that, we're just gonna be chilling. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Please subscribe so that way moving forward you guys can see the next videos. If I'm doing a good job, like it. If not, tell me why I dislike it so I can actually get some feedback and we can move on from there. One big piece of why I'm doing this, Doovie said this to me when we were at Texas Tea Time, and that's one big subject that we're gonna talk about today. And he said it's all about community, not clout. We're here to grow the community, give people knowledge, give people growth. It's not about being cool and having the coolest gear and this and that. We can show you where to go get the coolest gear, but I want you to go get the best training. I want you to know where to develop yourself, right? So with that, let's go ahead and get started. The reason why you're here is what we just talked about, but 3 major points, and I did allude to them earlier as well. Guns, how to get better in training, how to get the knowledge I want to get, how to get the gear I want to get. Football, how do I go through school? How do I deal with coaches? How do I develop myself? How do I get trainers, agents, all of that stuff? Because I made it all the way to the league. Played about 1.5, 2 years, but I learned a lot in that time. And my little brother is in the middle of that process right now, but those will be episodes later on that we cover. So the third piece to it is personal growth. With that, I have failed a lot, man. And a lot of people who know me know I'm a go-get-it type of guy. I just kind of go do things and don't really care. And I end up running into some brick walls sometimes. But it's not about how you fall or where that brick wall is. It's, okay, do I get up and I look for the next mountain peak? I look for the next thing that I want to go do that's going to motivate me to be better, right? So with that, I love to play football and I really love shooting. So that's what I want to focus on this YouTube. But we'll talk about other things if we get into like discussion, like on Instagram, we do like a live or something like that where you guys are asking me questions. We can definitely engage like that and come shoot with me. Like that's a good way to get to know me and learn. Aside from that, let's talk more about Texas Tea Time. So Texas Tea Time. I'm going to be pulling off these notes here because I tangent a lot, and if I don't use notes, then I won't stay on topic. So, I'm trying to help you guys out. Going into that, with Texas Tea Time, the people who put it on were basically Pew Army. With that, you're talking about Miss Hero, you're talking about Pewologist, Texas Totem, Gabby, and Doovie was there as well. They held this over at ETTS Gun Range, Extreme Tactics and Training. All of that will be in the description as far as who that is, who they are, and where that range is in Waxahachie, Texas. So that way you guys can know where to go. A lot of prominent shooters go to ETTS, and it's a great place to train, honestly. And we also had some cool demos that came out and sponsors. We had SilencerCo was out there. Texas Gunfighter Customs was out there, and Shotstop. Shotstop was pretty cool actually because we had these little not mugs. What's these called? Coasters? Yeah, these little coasters, right? And it's like his information is on them and everything like that. But we got to shoot them, and you'll see that later in the video where I shoot one of these just like this, and I put it up to the camera, and the bullet didn't go through. 9mm bullet, like, come on. So it was really a cool event to build community, and the reason why, like I said before, is community, not clout. Doovie and Pew Army, as i.e. Pew, Texas Toad, and those guys, wanted to create a space where we can come together and get to know each other and grow from each other, right? You often go to the range or you go to a class and it's about that class and really drill it in, or you go to a competition and nobody's talking to people who really want to compete and get better, or even a kind of regular range day. If you just go to the range and you meet a random guy, you're not as adept to go over and say, hey, what are you running, and things like that, which some of us are, but in this environment we were encouraged to work with each other, and that was really cool. We were tossed into teams of 4 and we had 4 different stations where we did courses of fire. I personally ran with Chad, Whiskey Striker. Oh, that guy's so funny. And then also Alex. I will put all of those guys tagged in the description as well because they were my team. That's who I ran with. You'll see a bunch of people in the video that were there as well, obviously. But going back to it, just making sure I'm touching all the pieces I want to. As far as the bays and what we did, with the 4 bays, there were 2 pistol and 2 rifle. One was transitions and reloads, and accuracy and holdover and offset were pretty much what we worked on as far as carbines. Unconventional positions were implemented as well. You'll see a barrel later on, and we had to shoot through the barrel with a carbine. And you're talking about concussion and just also being in an awkward position, trying to get that thing either prone or sitting on your knee. A lot of people aren't good off of their knee, and a lot of people don't know that. So they'll want to get in there, get off their knee, and be unsteady, when if you just go prone, you're nice and stuck and you're good. Next carbine bay that we did was actually a little bit further of a distance challenge. You had to work on offset at first and kind of your height over bore, because you had 3 targets that were all between 3 and 10 yards. Then you had 3 golf balls sitting at 15, which you were hitting off of a barrel. And then you had to go over and engage 2 targets across a lake at 200 plus yards, I want to say. I'm gonna need somebody to verify that. If so, comment and let everybody know how far we were actually shooting, because I don't know. It was raining and it was over a lake and it sucked. We'll get to the rain. So you engage those 2 targets, but if you don't know your holdover at 15 yards based on your 0, then you're not hitting those golf balls, right? So that's something we were talking about, and the camaraderie that built within each team as you're going through those different challenges was the really cool piece that brought us together. As far as the 2 pistol pieces that we did, one was like a still challenge bay that we ran. I'm not going to say who had the fastest time, but we can allude to that later in the video, man. I mean, that's not important here. We're about to see who shoots better, and when it matters, it happens, right? So yeah. Anyway, the second pistol bay that we did was working on those transitions and reloads, like I mentioned. So you're talking about 3 different pieces of paper where you're going 2-2, reload, and going back, but you're staying still in one position. So real fundamental work, and combined with some real developed carbine, like that offset work, right? But when you're adding in rain, you're adding in the excitement of shooting with new people in this environment. I felt like a newbie. I saw Texas tote and I was like, oh snap. I saw Pew and I was like, oh wait, is that Miss Hero? The whole family? And I'm just like shocked personally. And to show you how open the community is too, if you're really putting in the work and you're really putting in the time and showing that you're willing to be a part of this community and contribute to it to make it better, people will open their arms to you. And I've gotten a lot of support with that for doing this YouTube. Another reason why I wanted to focus it behind Texas Tea Time as we did this, because that was such a huge piece, and such a huge kind of diving board, cannon, whatever you want, to blast us off into where we're going with all this. The other things that I wanted to get into were the prizes. So everyone that went in had a raffle, and there was also a bag that we got full of a lot of cool swag. This mat was one of them. We got some magazines that we got. I believe Miss Hero's featured in one of these. I have to verify. Haven't looked through them yet, I'm sorry. And we also got, I want to say, Walker's headset, and the actual prizes that people won. All I'm gonna say is a dude walked out of there with 300 blackout upper, and I was not happy. He won it because he was a faster shooter, so it's fair. It's completely fair. And the winning team walked away with a crate full of amazing goodies. I'll tag those guys in as well, so you can go to their website or Instagram and see kind of the stuff that they got as well. But when I say it was just so cool to be able to go build community, compete, and then at the end you're walking away with more than you even paid to show up for. Obviously it'll cost more later on, and this was just what they were doing to get us started, but this first kind of go round was just so much fun. Like, I got a Duramac. That's awesome. I typically run P-mags, but now I'm start running with metal mags and see how that works. Wouldn't have really started if I didn't go to Texas Tea Time. See what I'm saying? So, excuse me. With that, the demo area that we were running, we had some really cool companies come out. We had SilencerCo, we had Shotstop, and we had Texas Gunfighter Customs. Texas Gunfighter Customs had an MPX 9mm suppressed. I have an MPX 9mm PCC that we'll do a video on later, but like, I want that thing. Go to Tyler Jamal's page, and I think he put up a video of him shooting it. It's quiet and it's fun, and shooting that piston blowback system with a 9mm through the MPX system, the recoil is very light, so when you make it quiet, you're talking about CQB truck gun for days, even a house gun, because 9mm is not a bad house defense gun, right? Exactly. So all of that being said, that's pretty much Texas Tea Time in a whole. I can probably emphasize more on how much the range sucked, but even through that, everyone was still out there. Everyone was wearing waterproof shoes for the most part, and had on appropriate clothing. We tested our gear, which was really important. It was really cool to know that my rifle was reaching out 200 plus with rain shooting over a lake, and felt confident in that. My sights weren't fogging up. I could still use my magnifier because I have Vortex on my optics, so I know I'm running quality optics. And that was another big piece of it. You often learn that you do test your gear based on the events you go through. This past weekend, I was actually just shooting and broke my charging handle. The rolling pin fell out. It made me sad. So I'm working on that. I'll order 2 more. Anyway, okay, so what's next? We're going to talk more about me, my story, my growth as far as football and how I got into guns. We're going to talk about survival games. That was an event held at Secure America Now, which is where I shoot a lot. I'll shoot at a few other ranges as well, but this range gives me the opportunity to move how I want to move. We'll do a video on that as well, detailing that, talking about Slick and Paraclete over there. We will also get into my EDC. This is my P320 RXP X Compact. Dude, Sig has some like long, crazy names. I love the gun, so it doesn't matter. Sig fanboy for life. But yeah, we'll get into my EDC. Whenever I'm at the house, I typically carry the same gun around as well, or I have a Mossberg 590 Shockwave. That's awesome. We also have competition and range days. I want to talk about that mentality going into competition, especially when you're talking about coming from professional sports and entering another realm of sports, not necessarily professional yet, but trying to get to that tier. I work really closely with a few guys in the industry and talk to them a lot. I'm going to shout out Riley T. Bowman right now. That's he just hit his master level. He shoots SIG, and he gives me a lot of tips on the guns that I need, the gear that I need, and how do I approach shooting. As far as USPSA, and all honesty, to me, he is just awesome. So that's one person that I definitely go to, and I'll let you know how I developed that relationship with him. I'll let you know how you can kind of kindle your own relationships with the right people, so that way, if you're serious about this, you can grow yourself. We're also going to talk about range day, my range gear, different things that I have, even my dry fire setup for home, things that I kind of keep around and use often. I have a 511 bag that my girlfriend got me. It is the bee's knees. It is. And also my rifles, my safe, my whole entire kind of setup when it comes to being at home. I'm not going to show you my house, but I'm going to show you the things that kind of come and how I plan to protect myself and how I store things, so that way you can do the same thing as well. And probably after I show you, I'll change it up anyway, so you won't know how I have it. I'm watching you. So we talked about why you're here, and I talked about learning knowledge in the guns and shooting. Alluded to some of that and the things to come, but I just want to touch on a few extra pieces. I'm gonna learn how to reload, yo. I'm so excited. I have a lot of people who want to teach me, and I'm trying to decide between getting like just a single loader and starting here. I actually had a dream about reloading bullets last night. That's how crazy I am about this. It's weird. I know I have an issue. I'm working on it. But when I start that process, you guys will like be firsthand to be able to see that, and we can gain more confidence in our shooters so that more people can start reloading properly. One thing we do want to avoid is reloading improper and having malfunctions in our guns and ruining our equipment. So I'm definitely going to take the proper steps as far as training, going to try to find some classes on this as well. But like I said, I have people who have been reloading for years who really want to teach me, and I'm going to go through those guys and try to pass that knowledge as possible on to you. Or like I normally do with anything else, I'm going to send you to their page. I'm going to give you a link to their site so that way you can take their classes, because I know where I'm an expert at, but I'm not going to have you go through advanced carbine course that you should be taking with BLU Scorpion. So simple as that. Moving past the guns, when we're talking about football, I grazed over it, but the biggest piece there is helping that athlete maintain his motivation and know what to do. That's the biggest piece that throws any athlete off. We're often told where to be, when to eat, when to practice, when to lift, when to go to class, when to study, like all of those things. But whenever you get into a situation where you need to dictate when and how you do those things to make yourself a more advanced athlete. When everybody's already running a 4.3, how do I be a better athlete? When everybody's already lifting 225 20 times, how do I make that better play? And that comes to film study, that comes to relationships with your coaches, and that comes to the way that you carry yourself as a player. And like I alluded to, there'll be so many more videos that we talk about that, especially as you guys ask questions. So definitely be open about that side too. It's called Gridiron Gunz for a reason. I'm not the way I am if I didn't play football, and that's where all of this started. I've been playing football since I was 5. So moving that mentality into guns is just kind of how I take it. I still take it seriously. I watch endless film on myself. I dry fire and practice at home by myself. Any D lineman I know, whenever you're kind of going through the season, you're slapping sides of buildings and kind of hitting moves on people as they walk past because you just want to work on those mechanics. Same principle. And lastly, I talked a good bit about the life piece, but overcoming failure. In specific list, I want to talk about life, family, football, faith, mental health, and personal development. And with that personal development, learning from the past mistakes so you can overcome from failures, because we all fail. It's how we grow from those instead of repeating the same thing over and over. And a lot of us millennials talk about that generational trauma, cyclical cycle, things like that. This is where we're ending that. This is where we're breaking chains like that. And things like shooting really do that and get you in a community where you can really learn how to manage your wealth versus just whatever. But yeah, that's the basic premise, guys. At the end of the day, I just want us to have a space where we can learn how to be better shooters, learn how to be better athletes in general, not just football, but I did track, I did soccer, I did basketball, you name it, we can talk about it. And learn how to be better people in general, because right now we need that. We need better humanity in this world. Everybody needs better training across the board. I don't care what you are, where you are. Everybody needs to be better people. We need to hold ourselves at a higher standard and with more accountability. Also leniency in the right places as well. And there's no dichotomy being placed there. We're trying to get rid of those dichotomies that are already established. So that's everything we'll cover as far as why you are here. The what is the channel, and how we get it done is the episodes, and as we go through it. Following this, you're going to see some cool shots from Texas Tea Time as far as us shooting the little cup holders, shooting actual plates. I go through one of the courses. I did okay. I did all right. That wasn't a course that I was best at. I'm okay at carbine. We talked about this. I need to go take some more courses. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the rest of the video and the rest of the shooting. Please stick around, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
Tyler's been leading it.
Are you ready?
Really? I'll keep it.
I forget.
Really? I might.
I had 2 missing. No.
So you got 4. Yeah, that's being real nice.
What was your time? Let me see the film. Let me see the. I know you got it on film.
6:32.
Let me see the film. Can I see the film?
I don't.
It was just this big giant foot, and he was walking back smiling. It happens like that.
You did record and turn back down like not all of it. Lit. Grab 3 because you know.
Wow.
So good?
They didn't go through. Ain't bad.
Slow down.
We can put carbines up now, right?
So, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for those who subscribed prior to the actual video dropping. Please subscribe if you haven't already as videos going on. Please like it if you like it. If you didn't, let me know and drop a dislike. We have some issues we'll talk about. It's all good. At the end of the day, like I said, just wanted to create a space where we can all come together. Please make sure that you stick around for my next video. If you have any questions, hit me on Instagram as far as a DM. Drop a comment. I will try to get back to everybody on the comments as well. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Gridiron out. So, forgot to add in, PROVECTUS group will be here June 19th. That is Juneteenth. You should be at Secure America now to join us. We will have a red dot pistol course. Ken is really awesome and he wants to come share that knowledge with us. It'll be his first time in Texas, so let's get as many people out. If we get too many people for the first class, there will be a second, but I wanted to toss us in here. Please be there. Again, that's June 19th. Go check PROVECTUS group. I'll put them in the description. Make sure you go to the website and sign up for that class.